Everybody follows someone. Whether we realise it or not, what or who we follow determines the values we hold, the behaviours we replicate, and the people we become. Yet few of us truly spend time asking the questions that matter, of the things that matter most to us. Hi, I'm Becky Rowe. I'm a graduate from Moorlands College and I'm the Kids Assistant at Coastline Vineyard Church and a primary school chaplain at the Bridge Youth Project. In this 6-week series, we ask the hard questions of a faith that asks us to follow, yet often appears in culture as irrelevant, outdated, riddled with errors, and full of mythology. Welcome to Follow, a series asking the questions that matter, of the things that matter the most. Is God dead? A dead phone. You can't rely on it in an emergency. The handset is useless without the battery that gives it power. Maybe that's what it feels like with faith, church, or the Bible. A handset without a battery. A nice idea, but powerless. Is Jesus who he said he was? If he really is alive, it changes everything. One of the things we get wrong about faith is that it's not binary. You don't switch between either complete belief or complete unbelief. There's this moment when a man cries out to Jesus because his son is being tormented by an evil spirit. Jesus replies that everything is possible for the person who believes. And the man replies, "I believe, help me with my unbelief." That sounds like a complete paradox. I believe, wait, no, I've lost it, hold on. Okay, yeah, now we're good to go. The reality is that the man is in essence saying, my faith is far from perfect. I do have faith, but help me have enough for this. It's honest and it's rewarded. The response gets the nod from Jesus, who then heals his son. Faith isn't static, and what happens in our lives and how we process these events in our minds is critical for how it develops. Faith itself is a journey rather than a destination. Thomas, for one reason or another, missed the first meeting when Jesus rocked up post-resurrection and heard about the news secondhand. He was a crucial eyewitness to the life of Christ. Like all of the disciples, his faith was rocked when Jesus was arrested and then executed. They thought he would lead some kind of uprising against the Roman occupiers and liberate Israel again. And their faith flatlined when Jesus finally breathed his last, "I believe 100%, wait, you weren't meant to die. That wasn't in my script." That next couple of days must have felt so empty. How were they meant to feel, to respond? "We've seen the Lord," that's all the other disciples gave him. I want proof for much lesser things than that. If a friend tells me that they've met a famous YouTuber, I'm going to ask them to show me a photo. Thomas had been one of the gang. He had the t-shirt, but at least had the confidence to share his doubts. Unless I see the nail marks in his hands and put my finger where the nails have been and put my hand into his side, I will just never believe. I'm not believing just because you say so. An idea about how faith grows is found in how trees mature. We all know that as trees age, they add new rings as the trunk grows. If you like, the first circle is experiencing faith. If you grow up in a loving household, you might map the love and affirmation you receive onto God. If childhood is difficult for you, the idea of a loving God can be much harder to grasp. You might have come into the church or youth group and felt really accepted and loved. It's a safe space for you. That's experienced faith. But the next phase is belonging faith. You buy everything that the leaders tell you. You have your own list of heroes and influencers. What they say is truth. This is the stage when you want to be part of the club. You buy the trading cards, you memorize all the lyrics, but the third ring is searching faith. It's when the heroes don't seem so heroic, when the influencers look suspiciously like they're selling you something. God invites the questions. He can handle people trying to tear Christianity apart. Some religions build protective hedges around their beliefs. You're not allowed to question them. Thomas shows that you are not rejected for expressing your doubts. Can you imagine Jesus being like, after all I've done for you, the entire human race, and now you want me to prove myself to you? And I don't remember you standing there defending me in front of Pilate. Well, I've got something to tell you, Thomas. No, rather than giving him the cold shoulder for lack of belief or rejecting him with harsh words, Jesus welcomed him. It's not awkwardness or defensive. Feel my nail-scarred hands. Put your hand in my side where the spear pierced me. Explore the evidence firsthand. Don't sit on your questions, find your answers. Somehow, over the centuries, Thomas picked up a label. Doubting Thomas is so unfair. It's like a character assassination. Every single disciple would have had the same question had they not seen Jesus for the first time round. Thomas had the guts to put his doubts into words. There's a fourth ring to the tree, owned faith. This is where you no longer rely on the faith of your parents, your youth leader, pastor, YouTuber. This is 100% yours. For mature Christians, faith is not blind obedience to childhood indoctrination at Sunday school. But you don't get to own faith without searching faith. And searching faith means asking difficult questions. It's a valid stage of faith. It's not that you have backslidden or don't give up on Jesus, but you need to work things through. That's why Jesus then calls Thomas to stop doubting and believe. Own your faith. For Thomas, it's a journey. Confronted by his friends, he then sits on it for 8 days. I'm sure pushing the questions around his head until he encounters Jesus for himself. His conclusion? My Lord and my God. That's not the end of the story. Thomas now owns his faith in a way that he didn't before. But that doesn't mean that there won't be more rings in the future. New questions, new seasons of doubt to work through. This story gives you permission to search and validates it as part of the faith journey. It's okay to have questions, the teachings you have previously believed. It's okay to go back through things and ask whether you believe them just because your parents, your friends, your youth worker said they were true. And life can throw up situations that can create doubt. A death of a family member, a failure in an exam, a panic attack, which causes you to wonder if God exists or if he's genuinely good. But facing those questions and journeying with friends who are asking them is the only way to add another ring of even deeper faith. It's okay to say, just like that person who came up to Jesus, Lord, we believe, help us in our unbelief. So if this is true, should it deserve my time? Can I push through the uncomfortable feelings I might have? Can I articulate the questions that I have in front of others? Maybe you wouldn't say that you follow Jesus. So what do you follow? How much trust do you have that what or who you follow won't let you down?